I found out my wife is telling other men she's single. Hey everyone. I need a bit of advice. My wife 31 female and I 31 male have been married for nearly 12 years. She's been registered disabled since 2012 and I've been her full-time carer since then. We have 2 children. One 11 and one 7. I recently found out she's been telling a male friend of hers that she's single. I knew she was talking to this guy. She started talking to him after meeting him on a game. I've never had an issue with her having male friends. In the messages to him, she said that I'm her ex, but I still live with her and am moving out this month. She has pretended to be drunk talking to him and also made up stories about meeting someone else and having a sexual encounter. She's also said things about her ex, whether she's actually talking about me or an imaginary ex I'm not sure, didn't last long in bed. Now this has happened before. A few times. The last time was another guy a couple of years ago, and she had told him she was single and raising the kids alone. Also pretended to be drunk. She also used a photo of her in hospital after an endoscopy to pretend she was in there for attempted suicide. When confronted she said it was down to her bipolar mania, which was bad around that time, and even brought it up to her doctor. I'm with her at appointments so her remorse seemed genuine. The time before was about 7 years ago with another guy. She again said she was single. She was talking this guy into a position where he would ask her on a date. The last time this happened it broke me. I was in floods of tears to my carer support worker because it made me feel utterly worthless. And I never cry in front of anyone. I'm honestly struggling with what to do, as silly as it sounds. I'm guessing she is doing these things to elicit attention from other men, but I could not give her any more attention if I tried. I do everything around the house. Care for the kids. Get her everything she needs. Constantly compliment her. The first time this happened 7 years ago we moved past it, and I thought part of it may be down to me not giving her enough attention. But now I don't know what to think or do. She hasn't physically cheated, I'm sure of that, but it's emotionally unfaithful. I've lost friendships and can't work because of being a carer. I never make her feel like she's burdening me. We've spoken before about how our lives are difficult and it's sometimes hard to balance the wife-carer dynamic. But that's no excuse for this. As far as I've been aware we were absolutely fine. Any advice anyone can give would be great. My gut is telling me to just leave, but I honestly don't know. I made vows and she isn't able to look after herself. Seems like she only sees you as her carer, and that she doesn't love you at all. You should try and decide if you want to stay with her until she actually cheats on you instead of just trying to get laid by lying about her marital status. Because she will, if she has no guilt about what she's done so far, the better or worse. In sickness and health it works both ways. She doesn't get to have you as her carer and lapdog just because she is registered disabled. If she is using that as a sob story with hospital photos to get another dude to duck, lawyer up. You don't deserve this treatment, especially from someone you take care of. Don't feel obligated to stay for her sake or the kids. The kids will be better off with a happy father than a miserable one in an already broken home. Good luck. As somebody living with bipolar disorder, I understand your wife's behavior. Mania is one heck of a drug, but that's where my commiseration with her ends. She needs to stop using her disorder as a crutch. I know it's extremely hard to hold a lid down on the explosive impulsivity, but there has got to be some respect for you as a life partner. You have come to the point of a crossroads in your marriage. If you want to give your marriage one last shot, you need to put couples counseling down as an ultimatum and demand that your wife take her illness seriously. Honestly though, considering what she's been putting you through, I would understand it more if you were to leave. I would. In your shoes. I'm sorry this illness is ripping your life apart. There's a really nice book my husband gifted me a few years ago called Unglued: A Bipolar Love Story. It's written from the perspective of a man married to a woman with bipolar disorder, and what a roller coaster of a life it can be. I hope it brings you any form of comfort. I made vows and she isn't able to look after herself. She might not be able to live independently, but that does not mean you have to be her carer. Your kids can't look after themselves. Your wife can. She has options and can organize her life without you if she has to. It will just be more difficult for her, but probably an easier life for you. I think after 3 times you have to accept that this is who your wife is and that she will not change. It has nothing to do with you or that you don't love her enough. Life doesn't care if you deserve this or not. Unfortunately, considering your breakdown and depression, I would highly recommend looking for a therapist if you don't already have one. Or maybe you can talk to your carer support worker. Activate your network, because whatever you decide, you will need some help and comfort dealing with this and supporting your children. Is she seeing a therapist regularly? She may also need to change up her medication. Because yeah, this sounds like it could be mania. But it also sounds like she's got some borderline personality disorder on top of her bipolar, which is always a fun combo. She's also at home 24/7 and cared for constantly from the sounds of it. So her social norms and sense of reality and fiction are likely all completely out of whack. She likely needs to be taken out of the house and into the outside world more regularly, or else this will keep getting worse. This is wildly specific, but somehow I relate heavily. I'm fully disabled. My husband is my home health aide, and we have a daughter. I'm also diagnosed bipolar 1. This is dysfunctional and will affect your children. You need to leave. She's out of control and you can do nothing to help her, and it doesn't sound like she wants help either. Feel free to PM me if you need, but please leave. It's not worth it. It seems as though she's using you to care for her and give her a roof over her head. I will say this, you do not have to stay with her just because she's disabled. If you honestly cannot be happy living with her, you should leave her. Take care of your kids. But you have to obligation to her, especially her history of cheating. If she's on disability, which she should be, she can get a nurse full time. Usually disabled people also can get good insurance which will pay for caretakers. Your happiness and kids' well-being is what matters. Does she treat you wrong? If so, this may teach your kids to stay with someone even if they don't want to. You can try couples counseling, but at this point she is a repeat offender and is emotionally cheating on you. There is a chance that no matter what you do, she doesn't see you as her husband. It really sucks and I really feel for you, but you also need to think about yourself and your children. Trying counseling might help, or it may just push her back into behaving for another 7 years or so before she does it again. What she is doing with these men is creating a fantasy that feeds her ego. Oddly enough, it seems like she is trying to get sympathy and care from them when you are already her caregiver. So in her eyes, what you are doing isn't enough because it doesn't feed her ego. She's playing pretend with these men and not giving them the full picture, so they give her very specific sympathy. You will burn yourself out if you even try to meet whatever standards she has to support her ego. If couples counseling isn't the route or it doesn't work, then I would get in contact with a lawyer and file for divorce. Through sickness and health doesn't apply if the person you are giving your all to care for is cheating on you. You made vows to be faithful to each other. If she's breaking the vow, and make no mistake, emotional cheating is still cheating, then the vows are null and void. You've done everything you can for this woman and I think she knows that you don't want to leave, so that's why she thinks she can continue to do what she wants to do. You've let her know how much this hurts you and how it's crossing a lot of boundaries, and she still continues to do it. You're not selfish, shallow, or any other negative word if you leave a disabled woman for cheating on you. If she can't live life on her own, that's no longer your problem. Once you leave, she's made her bed, now let her lay in it and move on with your life. That's something no one has really talked about specifically. Put aside the argument of whether this is cheating or not, which it really does sound like in my opinion. She's been repeatedly doing something that OP has told her devastates him for years. That's incredibly wrong. OP, your wife is more than happy to twist the knife in your heart indefinitely. She really doesn't seem interested in showing you the respect and love you deserve as a partner. She's been pulling this garbage for years, only admitting to things when she's caught. It's not out of the question that there are many more times that she wasn't caught. I'm so sorry for what you've been put through, man. You aren't obligated to stay. If she's abusing your trust, that's the end of the story. She's lost her right to play the victim card. I would do what's best for you and your kids at this point. It's beyond clear that she's just doing what's best for her. Her husband be damned. Damn. Almost sounds like she's lost the husband part of this relationship and look at you as her carriage driver, which sucks. I'm also a chronic pain patient and my husband also does a lot for me. I was worried he would lose attraction of me and look at me as his patient. I know one thing. After all he has done for me, I would never think to cheat on him. Truth be told, I just recently gave him his very first threesome just because I felt he deserved that shit. He enjoyed it and really appreciated it. It will probably never happen again, but I was happy to give it to him. I'm sorry you're going through this, but it's been 3 strikes. Time to reconsider some things. Hope it works out. Vows are only valid when both people uphold them. When one partner no longer thinks the vow supplier obligation has ended. Now that we have that out of the way, her disability does not in any way allow her any more leeway with infidelity than someone that is not disabled. If you want to try, then she needs therapy to figure out why she acts this way. It does seem to be some form of mental illness, although illness may be too strong a word for this. Get her the help she needs to work this out and see if she truly wants to be a loving and supportive spouse to you. Having gone through this once already, she has used up any shred of compassion you may have had for her. She has very clearly planned this out and is executing her plan to portray herself as single to men through this game platform. Allow her plans to come to fruition. Leave her and take the kids. You are their primary caregiver, so you should 100% have full custody of them. You owe her exactly as much consideration as she has given you planning her activities to portray herself as single. She is either delusional and needs care for that, or she just does not care for you or your relationship in the least. Neither situation is tolerable, so give her what she wants and leave her inside of this month she has stated by which you would be moved out. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos.